Hey everybody, Jarrod here from Direct Results Marketing. Today we're going to take a quick look at two different advertisements, one good and one terrible, both from the world of direct mail. Now you might be wondering, it's 2013, Jarrod, why are we looking at direct mail? Well, the truth of the matter is, with everybody running off to the internet, being fascinated with social media, trying to earn those Facebook likes and get more Twitter followers, well, this has opened up a big void in the mailbox. And proactive, smart business owners and entrepreneurs can seize on this void to do some advertising that has a very low cost and can be highly effective if it's done correctly. That's why we're going to look at two examples. When we look at this terrible postcard I have, we can look at all the things that we should not do in our advertising. Then we'll take a quick look at an excellent postcard done by a small business, and then we can make note of the things we should be doing when it comes to our mail. So with that said, let's go ahead and get started.
Okay, we're going to take a look at example number 1. This is a 4x6 postcard, and it is one of the single worst that I've ever seen at any time. This is a great example of what not to do. Let's take a look at side 1. This postcard is also a great example of how you can do the right things, but do them in the wrong way so that your ad is completely ruined. Let's start off by what your eye first goes to, which is this headline, which could be the single worst headline I've ever seen in my life. Attention owner/man. Right away, you got to figure that any woman that gets this postcard is throwing it away. She's either thinking, first off, that it's not for her, or second off, she's offended that it seems to imply that the owner of the business must be a man. So we've got attention owner/man. Then the next thing that my eye goes to are all these images going across the top. We have a camera, we have a GPS, we have an iPhone, we've got a printer the same size as 3 jump drives. There's glasses, headphones, a keyboard, a laptop, some clothes. We've got paint swabs, some ticket stubs, and an iPad, along with a notebook with a sticky note. And none of this has anything whatsoever to do with anything that these people are selling. Then if we go to the copy in the middle, his Cox specializes in customized coverage for a range of professional blah, 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 blah. I'm falling asleep. This is deadly boring. And it leaves no good indication of what's going on here. So mistakes on this first side are the headline is terrible, the images are useless, and the copy is incredibly boring. So moving on to side 2, we've got the worst headline in the world repeated again. I mean, women make up to 70% of the buying decisions. So you need to be very careful when it comes to headlines like this. After the headline, we've got some more copy, and it's the first time we've gotten any type of indication of what's going on here, any type of benefit. Protect your business and get a tailored quote in minutes. Get a licensed agent free at blah, 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 or go online. It's fast and simple. Moving on, our expertise is insuring small businesses with a particular focus on tailoring coverage for professional service businesses like yours, blah, blah. Finally, there's an indication of what this company is offering. The next major problem that jumps out at me, and again it's an example of knowing the right thing to do but doing it wrong, is the web address in the middle. Get your fast free quote at www. You see that ridiculous URL right there. What makes it even worse is that is a personalized URL, and the last end of it has got D.RESUL with my former zip code behind it. Business name is Direct Results Marketing. So they went to the trouble of creating a personalized URL that is difficult to read, makes no sense, and has to be typed in exactly as it appears. The PRO has to be capitalized, the / question mark, capital D, period, capital R, small case E. All this has to be exact or you don't go there. Now I don't think anybody's actually going and checking this out, but I did. I was expecting this to be the saving grace of this postcard. Since it's obviously a personalized URL for me, I expected it to lead to a personalized website with an offer being made directly to me. So I go through the trouble of typing this mess into my browser, and all it does is stick a cookie on my computer and then redirect me to their standard Hiscox website, which is a pain in the butt website that's hard to buy things from, with nothing personalized towards me. But every time I go to Drudge Report or some other website, little Hiscox banner ads pop up now because of the cookie. So this URL was a complete and total waste of space and time. Moving on past it, we've got get a licensed agent at phone number with an extension, and then here buried in the corner we've got another thing they've done right but in the wrong way. It says either way you'll receive the exemplary service Hiscox is renowned for, blah blah. Lead 96% of those surveyed to recommend us. Why not get in touch today? Very weak call to action. It's like they know you should have some sort of testimonial in there with the 96% surveyed recommend us, but it's absolutely buried. So on the back side of this card, the headlines that we've got is again repeated. That's a major mistake. It's boring again. That the web address is god awful. I mean, if you're going to use personalized web addresses on your postcards as a small business owner watching this video, there's a service you can get for $59 a month that will generate a easy and compelling to remember, easy to remember web address that, Jarrod Cash at .newbusinessowner.com. And when you go to it, your customer, the whole web page will be personalized. Hey, Jarrod, here's your insurance quote tailored just for direct results marketing. That's $59 a month. It's very cheap. We've got the proof on here that the 96% of those surveyed to recommend us are way too small, and we've got a very weak call to action, a very weak offer. Underneath that you can't really read on the slide, is simply the fine print. So let's move on. So the mistakes on this postcard that you've got to avoid are, number one, don't ever use a headline like that. You got to write just like you talk. If you're going to write a targeted headline for anybody, that's great, but just make certain that it makes sense when you say it out loud. If people hear your headline, is that enough to at least get them interested or possibly even pre-sold on what your product is? Number two, never use crazy images that don't reinforce the offer being made. Sometimes your print shop or your graphic designer will try and talk you into doing this kind of junk that increases the cost of your postcard and decreases the saleability of your message. Number three, never be boring. People will not read it. Number four, don't direct your prospects to difficult to enter web addresses. Number five, don't bury your proof in small print. And number six, never ever ever have a weak, pathetic call to action. So let's take a look at a good postcard then. And this one here is a real winner. It's from a small business owner in Colorado Springs, and I know that this was a successful ad, meaning it brought in a much higher return than it costs to put out. Alright, this is the same size postcard. It's a 4x6 postcard. It's on much thinner paper than the other postcard was on. It's very flimsy, and it's ugly. It's got a terribly ugly color. And you notice right away there's a headline, Urgent, Jarrod Cash. I want to buy your house at 1523 Saratoga and close before January 31st. Are you interested? Call to hear the details of my offer to purchase your house. Quickly, call blah blah blah. That headline is fairly interesting. It lets you know immediately what this postcard is about. You read the first two lines and you know precisely what this postcard is about and what this guy wants to do. It's personalized towards me, and it's got a method of response right on that side. Even though this is a small postcard, due to its neon green color and the black lettering, it's ugly enough that it stands out pretty quickly in the mail. I noticed it right away. Let's move on to side number two. And when we turn this over and get a look at the second side, we notice that this pretty much looks like the other postcard in the fact that it has a headline at the top followed by a bunch of sales copy. However, the main difference is this is a good headline. This sales copy is interesting, not boring. And the personalization makes sense here. Instead of using a personalized URL with d.resul. He's got my name right in the front. It says, Urgent Jarrod Cash, I want to buy your house. You know right away what this is for. And then the immediate copy after that explains a little bit about why he's sending me the card. It says, "My name's Mike Jake. I recently sold an investment house. I'm looking to purchase another one with the proceeds. I wanted to send you this note, see if you're interested in selling." Then, instead of being boring copy about his business, he goes on to list benefits instead. He says, "If I buy your house, there'll be no fees, no commissions. In fact, I'm willing to pay all closing costs. This could save you thousands of dollars." Then the copy continues, and he starts knocking out possible objections. He says, "I'll buy your house as is. I'm interested whether you live in it, whether you got it rented, if you owe more than it's worth. It doesn't matter if it's in good condition, bad condition. I can handle any issues. I'll make it a hassle-free transaction and close on the day you choose." These are all benefits, and he's answering objections that a normal person would have before they're even verbalized. This is called good copy. He then says, "If you can even considered selling, take a minute to call my 24-hour recorded message line, so there's a stress-free way for me to respond without any feeling like there's going to be pressure from a salesman." And then he directs me to a website that has an intelligent URL. It says, "I can submit details about my house at swiftresults.com." And then he closes this out by adding a little bit of urgency, and it's urgency that's believable. He says, "Please hurry, because after I find a replacement property, I won't be in a position to buy till I sell another property." So what can we learn from this postcard? Well, there's a lot, but here's 6 things that really stand out to me. And that's number 1 is great headlines will grab your prospect's attention, and then they'll feel compelled to read the rest of your ad based on that headline. And images are not needed at all to deliver a strong sales message. Just because a postcard is pretty and on glossy paper and has nice images of irrelevant things, that doesn't sell. Ugly can capture attention. Bright neon green postcard stands out, and the good copy holds the attention. And if you don't know, again, copy is the word used on the ad. Have a clear offer and make it real simple and directly stated, easy to understand what it's about. List the benefits that your prospects are going to receive by doing business with you or taking you up on your offer. And make responding to that offer as easy and as stress-free as you possibly can. Because nobody wants to feel like they're going to be pressured. And nobody wants to have a difficult response mechanism. Nobody wants to do like I did and type in that ridiculous URL from the previous postcard. And finally, have a reason for urgency or for immediate response to your offer. Because if you don't have that sense of urgency, then there's no reason for somebody to respond right away. They're probably just going to simply forget about it.
All right, now, after going over these 2 examples, you've got a real solid idea of what you should not do when it comes to your direct mail and what you should do when it comes to your direct mail. Now, if you find yourself with more questions, or if you're looking for better ways to increase the effectiveness of your direct mail or any other small business advertising, I'd invite you to please call my offices. It's 800-541-7429, or swing by my website, jarrodcash.com. Both should be on your screen right now. If you happen to be in the Las Vegas area, give me a call. Stop by my offices. I'd be happy to sit down and talk with you. Until next time, this has been Jarrod Cash.